welcome back to the shop. So this video is going to be about this M103A3 welding trailer. I've just picked this up at GovPlanet. According to the paperwork, it looks like it was used by the U.S. Army, and it looks like the U.S. Air Force uses these as well. So I bought this, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I won this thing at the auction, and I wanted to hurry up and go get it because the roof is kind of screwed up. It's missing part of the roof. You can see it up here. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Well, tonight, actually. Tonight and tomorrow is supposed to rain. And so I wanted to hurry up and get it. So I drove up to Yermo yesterday, picked it up, got it home, and started to go through it. Really freaking cool. So I got this thing really cheap. There were 3 of them that they were selling in this particular auction, and the other 2 went a lot higher. This one went very cheap. I don't know if it's because it wasn't even the 3rd one that closed out. It was the 2nd one. But I think it's because that roof section's broken off. Which isn't huge because I don't plan on using this thing for what it is. I've already taken all the tooling out. In fact, I shot the video yesterday. I shot the video of me picking it up, loading it on the trailer, getting it back here, going through it. And I'm using a new camera right now. It's an Osmo, or a DJI Action 5 Osmo or whatever it is. And some of the settings got screwed up in most of the footage, and it just ruined all my footage. So I'm reshooting the video. I pulled this back out from where I had it parked, and I've got all the tools sitting over here on the back of the mule, and I want to show those to you guys. But the thing is, I wanted to get this thing so I can get all the tools out of it before it rained. So we haven't had a rain here in California since at least probably March. I think we had a little drizzle back in September, but it wasn't even really rain. And up in Yermo, where this has been sitting, they may have gotten some thunderstorms in the summer or something, I guess. But I wanted to get this thing so I can get the tools out and get them so they don't get ruined in the rain, because you'll see the plastic totes that they're in. If this thing leaks and those get filled up, it's going to ruin some of the stuff I got. So the trailer itself, it's pretty cool. It's actually got truck tires on it. They're 11R22.5. It's a tubeless truck tire. This is, I used to have Peterbilt, used to have some Ford trucks and stuff that had those tires on it, some Internationals. It's a full-size truck tire. It's a heavy-duty trailer frame, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I might just, now that I have it emptied, I might just list it and see if I could sell it for what it is. A guy could repair the top, build a new top for it, and it would be pretty cool. You could either make it into some type of camping unit or tool storage, whatever. Like, you know, if I lived on a farm, or if I had something like that where I needed to grab tools and stuff and go work 40 acres away, I would just keep this thing loaded up and use it. But the work we do here, you know, I've got the shop, everything's in there. I've got the service truck, and that's what we use to go out to the quarry or job sites. And I couldn't really take this and leave this out there because the tweakers would just steal everything out of it anyways. It'd be real easy to break into is the problem. So let's kind of look at it. So these lock down. So I got those unlocked. You lift these up. The door's going to swing down, and they had all the stuff stored in here. They have charts here of everything that was in it. Got a 110 volt air compressor. It's got all these rod holders. Most of them are full. We've got air arc rod. We've got, unfortunately, it's a rod I don't use. It's got 6010 in it. I use 7018 for everything pretty much. Really nice high quality hose reel, 50-foot 3/8 hose. This is cool. I still have to pull this stuff out. We'll open this one up. Got a nice old style Craftsman roller bearing chests. Some of this stuff was stolen. I left this in here for right now because the grinder was stolen, the drill was stolen. There was a saber saw that was stolen. But these are nice cabinets. This is back when Craftsman was still Craftsman. Everything in here was in pockets, like in its spot. It was all secured in there. I have it all in my truck. I'll get it out. We'll go there in a second. I got these rod holders. These 2 are empty, but the other one's full of bronze alloy gas welding rod. Come around to over here. Got this high frequency arc starter for TIG welding. This thing had a welder unit in there. It had a Lincoln 250 amp diesel, which I wish was still in it. But if it was, I probably wouldn't have bought it because it probably would have brought the price of this thing up another, up to $8,000 or something. It's missing, but that's fine. I've got welders here. It would have been cool to have the diesel one for sure. So it's got the TIG welder, and I have all the stuff that goes with the TIG welder. And this stuff's unused. They haven't even, it was never touched. I've got this right here, this Miller Suitcase Extreme, the 8VS model, MIG welder. Really sweet. Open it up, and it's absolutely unused. It was never used. Look at the ground clamp. There's no scars on it, nothing. This thing is brand new. So this is going to be really nice to have for the service truck and also to use around the shop. These things are really nice, and it is set up for gas, so you can, you know, do use gas shielded wire instead of inner shield, which I like better. This stuff came out of one of the cupboards. It's got sleeves, we've got gloves, we've got, I don't know, 4 welding screens, and the whole frame set up for all that to hold the welding screens. Come back around here, pop this side open. We got tons of respirators. This had, I forget what was, oh, this had all the stuff for the TIG welder and the MIG welder. It had the tips, it had all the stuff for that. This had like chipping guns, all that kind of stuff was in here. Open this side. The kind of cheesy welding hoods. They'd be good, I guess, for just someone, you know, around the shop to borrow if they want to watch us weld. It says shade 10 fixed, but there's a solar panel on this. I don't know. I didn't think it was automatic. No, it's not. Anyways, a couple of those. Here's all the stuff for the welding shields. We've got really nice reel for the inert gas, for the argon, for the TIG and the MIG. We've got electrical reels. This is for power. They call it power out, and 20 amp recep on it. This is power in. So if you're not running off the welder, you can take and run this and plug this into your shore power to, you know, electrify everything. Let me get over here, and I'm going to open the top up, and then I'll get the camera back on so you can see what's inside the back here. All right, so I've got the top opened up, and you can see when it's opened up, it makes a shelter for the workbench back here. So you've got this kind of thin metal workbench here. It should have a vise here. That was missing. One of the other ones had it, and you can see that it would move over to here. So you've got a metal workbench. This would give you some shade. It might keep some rain off you. We've got more power outlets. We've got another inlet. This would plug into the welder if the welder was sitting here. We've got a welding rod oven. Really cool. Some work lights. And then the welding leads are on reels too, which is really cool. I think I'm going to be putting these on the service truck. Got the positive side, the ground side, and then you can see they just come out. You know, they come out of here to plug into the welder. They would have been plugged in right there. It's got these cool roller setups for your bottles, for your oxygen, your acetylene. To be your acetylene over there, standing up vertically. And then you've got oxygen, you've got inert gas. Yeah, that one I think is shorter for the inert gas. I might be wrong. Maybe it's just offset so the vise could be here. There's a battery in there, 24-volt battery. It's probably dead. Cool little battery box to have though. And then we've got the oxygen acetylene reel over there, which is pretty cool. To check that out, make sure the swivel's still good. I could repair it if it's not. So this thing's really cool. Really neat. I mean, I wish I had a use for it because I would definitely take advantage of this. But for me, all the tooling, that's what I bought it for. Got it so cheap. Hopefully I could sell this, maybe to someone who wants to make an overlander camper, something like that out of it. It's a little on the heavy duty side. It's got air over hydraulic brakes, which could be converted. You could just make it, change them out, put some electric brakes on it. Or if you're towing it with a bigger truck that's got air, well, it'd be already set up. Very heavy duty though. So, or maybe someone just wants it for, you know, farm use or something like that. Who knows what you can do with this thing? Maybe a ferry or something like that. It'd make a nice little trailer. So let's go over here and look at some of the stuff that we got. So it had a torch right here. It's made by Smith. I've never seen a Smith oxygen acetylene torch before, but it looks very nice. Stainless steel. I've got some more one-way check valves. We got all the brazing tips, a rosebud tip, chipping hammer. We got cutting tips. Got some OG Craftsman clamps. Brand new Ingersoll Rand chipping gun. Never even used. It's got 3 different gads with it. Striker, bottle wrench, solder, stuff, you know, to be able to solder stuff. Tip cleaners, nice chisels, brand new Craftsman, made in USA, OG chisels. Air gun, nice pair of pliers, made by Allen Wrench. Got our inert gas gauge. We've got our acetylene and our oxygen gauges, brand new, very heavy duty looking stuff, made by Smith. These are not cheap. These are very expensive gauges. Got some really nice chisels, or files, some real nice files here. Hammer, all kinds of stuff. Got tons of hacksaw blades. As much as I use a hacksaw anymore, this will last me the rest of my life. I don't hardly ever use a hacksaw anymore. Some extra rollers. Here's all the stuff for the MIG gun and the TIG gun. We got all the electrodes for the TIG. We've got the contactors for the MIG. We've got drive rolls for the MIG. That's for the TIG gun. Well, that's for the TIG gun. We got a whole bunch of wire. I think that, yeah, this is an alloy wire. These are all aluminum. There's 10 rolls of aluminum wire, 2 different types. You know, I've got the Radner and I've got the Maxim MIG. I don't know, I haven't looked at them to see what the difference is on the alloy on them or whatever. Well, there's 40, 43, 53, 56. So I've never even TIG welded aluminum. So I'm gonna have to get into that because I've got a lot of money worth of wire right here. Got a couple more rolls of, that looks like aluminum wire. And so does that. They might be alloy, but they look aluminum. I could definitely tell this is, yeah, those are aluminum. I could definitely tell this is alloy. It's for steel. Come over here. Got a nice brand new Miller TIG gun. Really sweet. Got a brand new Miller MIG gun. Never used at all. Got a brand new air arc. Nice air arc. And, you know, this was the only thing that I could tell was used. This is for stick welding. Somebody welded some stick with it, and I found some stubs in the oven over there. We got the foot pedal for the TIG. Got an extra liner for the MIG gun. The ground clamp. Let's get that stuff stacked back over there. And we got the books. You know, the tech manuals for this. For some reason, I got 2 sets, and I looked at them. They're the same. I got 2 sets of tech manuals. One for the welding outfit. It's got the paperwork for the welder, the TIG gun, all that stuff. The operator manuals, the instructions, parts manuals, all that stuff. Got everything for the trailer frame itself, which the trailer itself is the M103A3, and then the welding unit on top of it is separate, but I don't know what the number they would call that thing. I just have an NSN number. I don't know, but the whole thing is just labeled over there as an M103A3. So that's what the chassis looks like. If anybody out there is interested in something like that, hit me up in the comments. Definitely want to get rid of this. If I can't sell it, I'll probably just end up cutting it up and parting it out because I really can't use it for anything. All right, and then I even had a couple of padlocks in there, and I'm all, yeah, these are cool. It says US on them, US set. But everything they sell has been demilled, right? So they took the keys. They gave me the locks, but come on, chain. But they took the keys. But it's a master lock. I could pick this in 10 seconds, and I've got so many master keys. I actually have a ring full of them. I'm sure I can find a key to fit those, unless it's something special the military uses. But that's just kind of funny how they demill everything. So got the T-square. So anyways, this video didn't go exactly as planned. I wanted to show the pickup process because I've had some issues down there at GovPlanet in Yermo before where, you know, I'll be there for 2 hours and they'll lie to me. I'll go up there and say, is somebody coming? Oh, yeah, he's out back. And then the guy I saw left for lunch 45 minutes ago shows up after an hour. And then 40 minutes later, or 20 minutes later, he crawls out of the shop and gets on the forklift and comes and gets my stuff. They're terrible over there. They don't care about customer service. It's funny because they're owned by Ritchie Brothers. Ritchie Brothers loves their customers. GovPlanet has some learning to do as far as that goes. But they took good care of me this time. I think because every time I go, I lecture them a little bit. I explain to them how they need to take better care of their customers, and they're starting to help me out a little better. I was only an hour and a half from the time I gave them my paperwork to getting this stuff loaded, and there was one guy in front of me, but somebody else was loading him, so I don't understand that. But it took an hour and a half to dig this out. So it makes like it made a 6-hour day for me. 2 hours there, an hour and a half there, stopped to get some food, and then 2 hours back. So it's not that big of a deal. It makes for an interesting day anyways. Kind of breaks up the everyday stuff. So anyways, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video with a friend. And I just want to thank you guys for watching.